Well, you know, talking about how I got into this, I guess it goes back to I had a lot of stress on my job, and I was working long hours, really not getting any exercise other than pushing a pencil and lifting a telephone, and felt bad. Went to the doctor for a routine physical for insurance, and discovered I had high blood pressure. And high blood pressure, I'd never had a problem like that. My weight had creeped up to about 205, and yeah, I was smoking about a pack and a half a day, and probably drinking too much too, and yeah, it just didn't feel good. But I guess I felt that most people at 32 or 33, which is what I was at the time, probably felt about the same, and you were supposed to feel worse the older you get. Fortunately, I guess for me, a good neighbor, a friend of mine, my neighbor, told me, he's a heart specialist, asked me if I would, rather than take medication for the high blood pressure, would I consider trying to jog or some exercise program. And I thought, well, I didn't want to be addicted to any kind of pills for the rest of my life, so I tried the running. By the end of that summer, I was running road races, and I was up to about 8 or 9 miles a day. I had lost about 40 pounds. My blood pressure went back down to below normal. I started feeling better than I had felt even as a teenager, and I noticed that my craving for cigarettes and a drink after work and so on all diminished. In fact, I gave up smoking completely, and I had never been able to do that. So my whole lifestyle changed. And my wife, of course, and family noticed a change. In fact, they thought at first that I kind of flipped out or something, because here I was totally different, you know, much more relaxed. A couple years after I got into running, I was doing marathons and really got addicted to the distance. And did that for about 3 years and found that I needed something new. I was starting to feel kind of wore down from running too much in the periods when I would peak for a marathon, and that's when I heard about triathaloning, and I started riding my bike more, and I started swimming, which I hadn't done since I was in my late teens. And I found that not only was I able to seem less tired because I was exercising new muscle groups, wasn't always just wearing down the same set of muscles, but I was doing different things with my body. Such a good feeling, just meditating and running, and getting rid of any stresses and getting my head clear and thinking. I felt so good each day. It was a new me. And I guess the effect of that was my wife says she's going to start running next. She ended up now being a cross-country and track coach, and she never ran in her life prior to the age of about 28. So the kids have all started running and swimming now too, and really the whole family. We've gone to races where all 6 of us have ran the race. The thing I liked about the triathlon is that the activities involved, the biking and the swimming, are also family activities that you can take your family with you on the bike rides, and you can take your family with you to places to swim. So it's just another avenue that helps involve, you know, the total family. And I know right now 2 of my kids want to participate in triathlon soon. And I figure that hour a day to 2 hours in the summer is an investment in my health that will pay a dividend in the future of maybe an extra 6 or 7 years of my life. Morning, how's everybody? Yeah, good. Beautiful day out there.
How'd it go?
It went. That was good. It was south wind. Morning. You sleep good?
Yeah.
What do you guys want for breakfast? Pancakes? Okay. And you're as young as you feel, and I think if you have your health, that's one of the great wealths in life, and everything else together with that makes things pretty good.